So ESPN just dropped a list of their 25 best WNBA players under the age of 25. And off a quick scan, it looks like they might have got it correct. Now, of course, with lists, there will always be people upset with them, but I thought it was notable to point out me looking at this list and I'm seeing, I don't know if there would be a ton to be upset about, but let's go through the list together. All right, so their rules basically in the opening paragraph basically says an influx of young talent is helping transform the WNBA. Rookie All-Stars Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese made an immediate impact last season, and 2025's first-year players have followed suit. Paige, Sonia Kiki, and then also bringing up Dominique Malunga. The 6 All-Stars under the age of 25 are the most since 2011, and the 2024 and 25 have already produced as many or more as the total between 2021 and 2023. So if anything, if you group the 2024 and 5 classes, you can see the immense impact they have had on the league as far as injecting not only talent, but star power as well. It's going to look a lot different than, having some of the lean years where just, good players were coming in, but there weren't people that were going to potentially end up as all-time greats or, necessarily needle movers. They said that they struggle with the rankings, of course. They put them in order based on their expected peak rather than their current production, meaning that Dominique Malunga will get extra credit for her relative upside to players whose performances are more consistent right now. So that should be interesting, especially when you can look who she's next to. All right, and number 1 on the list over Paige Bueckers, Caitlin Clark. They say due to injury, she's been limited to 13 games this season, averaging 16.5, 8.8 assists, and 5 boards. But when healthy, Clark's impact is enormous. She stretches the floor with her shooting range, pushes the pace, and picks defenses apart with her passing. The 23-year-old brings an unmatched excitement factor every time she's on court, and her confidence spreads to the whole team. She's the biggest draw on the road of any WNBA player, so her effect on the league is huge. And honestly, they may have even undersold her as far as, talking about what her rookie season looked like as far as the points produced, the level of defense that she faced and pretty much abused off the rip. I think when we project Caitlin Clark to her prime, she will pretty much become the all-time leader in WNBA triple-doubles. She will average over 10 assists a game in a season. She will average 25 a game in a season. She will win multiple MVPs, multiple championships, and pretty much rewrite women's basketball from a star perspective, and probably end her career as the biggest star to ever play women's basketball. For me, this is number 1, and it's really not even close. From number 2 on, I think you do have a discussion as far as, when they talk about bringing in the peaks. We look at Dominique Malunga, who's 19 years old, who 4 years from now will still be younger than Paige Bueckers is right now. And that's her rookie class contemporary because Paige played that 5th year. And let's get to Paige here. She's number 2 on the list. They said expectations were high for Bueckers entering the pros, with one GM telling ESPN she'll be a Hall of Famer. In year 1, she's largely lived up to the hype and is on pace to join Clark as the only players to average 19 points and 5 assists in their rookie season. Bueckers' efficiency is mostly carried over from UConn with her 46% field goal shooting, the best of any guard, averaging at least 16 points in the league. She has shown the mid-range game still has a place in modern basketball, even in 2025. Her crowning achievement came last week when she became the first player to drop 40-plus points in a game on 80% efficiency. I think with Paige, her ceiling lies in the fact that she may be playing the wrong position right now. I don't know if she's a point guard. And I feel like if you put somebody next to her and allow her to operate in that mid-post area, you're going to get probably the best of Paige there. I think she's a 2 guard in disguise. It's interesting that they talk about efficiency, though, but when we look at like true shooting percentage, which for me is like the real mark of, efficiency, Caitlin Clark is more efficient than Paige Bueckers. Like her rookie year, she was higher on true shooting percentages. I'd have to see what it looks like in year 2, but I almost want to throw year 2 out for Caitlin because it's been injury after injury after injury, and the health has just not been there. And based on her rookie season, I think I'm willing to say we should give her a little bit more grace. Now it gets interesting. Number 3 is Aaliyah Boston. So the Indiana Fever have 2 of the top 3 players under 25. And, you know, if you got them together, what do you think the future is going to look like? Championships. So Leah Boston, she can still get better too. So number 4, Dominique Malunga. I think Malunga is like, you got the mechanics for the jumper. She's tall. She's going to be a defensive demon. And if she's already shooting 60% right now, which is like my major problem with Angel Reese's game, who is right below her, has been the percentages on her shooting. It's like, how are you a big shooting in the 30s? Like, it doesn't work like that. If Angel Reese shot that 60% like Dominique Malunga does and kept her rebounding and her motor, you're probably talking about one of the greatest women's players to ever live. That would be just this advanced metrics monster. And I think Dominique has the potential to turn into that. She would be a sophomore in college right now, or about to start her sophomore year in college. Instead, she's going to practice against those veterans. She's going to continue to have the freedom to expand and grow her game. I just hope she ends up getting a better coach, because I think they're going to try to do the bring her along slow plan. And no, you need to run this girl's game out there now. Number 5, Angel Reese. They said, after shattering rebounding records as a rookie, the biggest question surrounding Reese was how could she evolve and grow in her sophomore year? She spent much of the unrivaled season working on her shooting, and it shows. Her scoring and efficiency have improved this season in the W. I'll take a look at that. But Reese's biggest offensive jump has come in her playmaking. Yes, she's averaging 3.7 assists per game, top 5 among all forwards and among WNBA players under the age of 25. She excels at passing in the post and nods her chemistry with Camila Cardoso, and understands how her presence down low opens up her teammates more. On defense, her rebounding is as good as ever. She leads the league at 12.2 boards per game. In just 25 games in, has already tied her rookie record as the fastest person in WNBA history to reach 300 rebounds. I can't disagree with anybody ranked above Angel. I think Angel versus Sonia is a worthwhile conversation, especially I don't know if the ceiling for Sonia, I don't think she's your number 1 option, but she's definitely at least a number 2 and could play in some kind of equal opportunity system where she just had, like, she could be like Chauncey Billups essentially and lead like a team that's just meticulously put around her, I think. But I think those two are a really interesting conversation, especially when you just talk about, how Sonya can play on the offensive and defensive end. I think Angel's offense still has, room for growth. And, should she really like push those percentages to that 50% level and really just decide like, hey, I don't really need to be shooting jumpers because it's not my game. And if she can finish around the rim at a higher level, she has an immense ceiling. We already know that she's very tough. She's energetic. She will shell shock a front line of the defense with her motor in a way that, like, she's built and she really wants it. And you can't really teach want to, and she wants it. Sometimes the skill just doesn't align. So what happens is, like, the numbers will be on the board and people are like, well, look at the numbers. I'm like, well, you got to look at where the percentages are, and as far as the ease of the shots, like if you're shooting that percentage mostly on layups or finishing around the rim, that's a missed opportunity. She has played a number of, the forwards in the league very well, and they would have tough shooting nights against her. From there, we'll blow through these things. Don't want to take all your time, but Camila Cardoso or Rickea Jackson are the next 2. I think I'll take Rickea Jackson over Cardoso. Sometimes Camilla's tall and that's all, and sometimes she comes to ball. So I don't know. Rickea, good shooter, good scorer. Got Cameron Brink right below her, who might be the woman Bill Russell with her shot blocking ability. I think Brink has to obviously show more court time, but very high ceiling on her as well. I think Kiki's a bit low. I came into the season a skeptic of Kiki Iriafen, but she's won me over with how she's, played, and I think she's going to be a factor in the league for a long time. Layla Lacan has started to stand out late, and she has impacted, the Connecticut Sun and been like this youthful player where you look around and it's like, yo, she's still way younger than everybody. So I always notice when you have, the youthful players that are getting those minutes, it's just going to accelerate their development. So looking forward to see what Layla turns into. Sanaya Rivers from the Connecticut Sun, when she gets to her peak, she is going to be an elite two-way player. Her defense is already showing that she is just this freaky athlete. She's can get end to end. She can get vertical, and she's got a great motor. If she can, get her shooting there, I think she can make a couple All-Star teams in her career. From there, we go to Monica Makani in Phoenix, and then Jordan Hurston in Seattle. Ileana Rupert for the Golden State Valkyries. Tahina Pow for the Atlanta Dream, one of the best three-point shooters in the league already. If you can shoot the ball, you're going to be in the league for a long time. Janelle Salon has been pretty impressive. I've had her on my fantasy team, so I've got a chance to at least follow her numbers, even if I haven't seen the Valkyrie every game. French are coming. I don't know who needs to hear it, but they're going to be here for quite a while, producing players on the men's and women's side. Anissa Morrow, Connecticut Sun. It's going to be tough for her because they traded for Aaliyah Edwards. They still got Olivia Nelson-Adota. There's a lot of forwards that are around. She's an undersized forward. So right below her, Aaliyah Edwards, who I just mentioned. And, she's got to figure out if it's going to go for her like it did on Rival, where she was like unstoppable, or, is she just going to fall into the pack. Diamond Miller went to Dallas, 6'3", a lot of versatility, gets to Dallas, and, you go to Dallas and you're like, all right, how do you fit around Paige Bueckers? That should be your primary goal. And with Dallas, you're going to have plenty of room because it's not like there's great players populating the roster. Then to wrap it up, we got Isaiah James, Carla Late, Awak Kuier, Michaela Timpson at number 24, and then Letitia Amiher. Man, those two, 24 and 25, when we talk about defensive athletes, both of them are among some of the most stellar that I've seen this year, regardless of them being, young. Tons of room to grow into who they ultimately will become. They're both pretty good shot blockers, and it looks like, the Amiher, the couple times I've seen her play, is like she can change a game herself. Timpson's been brought along slowly by Stephanie White, as many Indiana Fever fans have pointed out. I wouldn't take that as a sign of, her future potential. She's going to have the chance to grow into an all-star at some point. But overall, I think Caitlin Clark being number one on the list is the right call, even over Malunga's long-term potential, over Paige Bueckers, over Angel Reese. And I tend to think about it like this. If I had to be the general manager, right, and someone was asking me, hey, what would you trade Caitlin Clark for? And I'm talking like not Caitlin Clark today even, which is pretty close. Like when her prime comes, what would the trade offer look like? You're going to, and I'm looking at the rest of this group. I'm like, if the Dallas Wings call me, I'd be like, yeah, one, I should hang up. Two, I'll give you a chance to hear it out. I'd be like, I'll need Paige Bueckers back, and I'll also need 2 first-round picks. And then the asking price for every like lower player down gets bigger, I think. No, like it's just too much of an offensive engine, too much of a popular global superstar, which instantly transforms your franchise, and has already demonstrated that she's capable of rewriting the record books before she's close to who she's going to be in this league. So what do you guys think of the ESPN 25 under 25 list? Let me know in the comments. I'll holler at you guys next time. Peace. This is One Lifetime.